The following content is not meant for children. Hello, and welcome back. I am Maester Aelix, and this is Shadowrun Hong Kong, and we are right back where we left off here in the Wapo Gardens, and let's go see what other people around this place have to say. Min Vong. The owner of the shop barely looks from his PDA while greeting you. His tone is of one immense boredom. Welcome to Vin Hong Matrix Materials, aka MVMM. What can I get you? Show me what you have for sale. Okay, not what we're... Yeah, see you later. Okay, so literally just a shop dude. Not a problem with that, just... trying to do investigations, and I need more than just shop people. Now, if it's that way all the way around, then, well... Then it'll be just real quick. Rainbow! The young woman sports brilliantly hued hair that shifts colors, scintillating with every passing moment. She is powerfully built, a natural athlete, or someone who works out a great deal. Notably, a large shotgun rests on an arcade cabinet next to her. She affords you a glance as you approach, and when she speaks, you note particularly lyrical accents to her voice. Something I can help you with there, friend? You're throwing off my game, and I'm trying to beat my best score. Tank War Europa? I haven't seen one of those cabinets in years. The woman's mouth twists into a wry grin. Me neither. Managed to find this one near by accident. But I heard the music and thought, hold on there, Rainbow. You know that tune. After a few moments, Rainbow's game is suddenly over. Her tank obliterated a barrage of air-to-ground missiles. She hisses her breath in, through clenched teeth. Piss on your ma. A right robbery that was. Right then, Rainbow shakes her head again and turns to face you. You don't seem like them Wampoans. They're all might touched, yeah? Maybe you are too, but you don't advertise it like they do. What's your story? I've been looking into the murders that have been happening. That's some nasty work. Bodies hacked up, chunks bitten out of them. Make sure you're loaded for something big and nasty, and that's for certain. Where are you from? I can't place the accent. Born and raised in Dublin. Down on the banks of the Liffey. Spent most of my early life there, working security on sacred spaces, you know, historical sites, underdeveloped land. The Green Movement was big in those days. It was a bit like being a park ranger, but sure didn't it beat some dead-end desk job. Spent a lot of time around County Dublin and Wicklow. I've always loved animals and found out that being a ranger put me in close to them. It was a good time, yeah. Making sure the budding new species like the bogies and the centaurs didn't upset the ecology of Wicklow National Park much. Also, kept the nastier bits like each usagi from running amok across populated territories. What's that? And eat whiskey? Isn't that a demon horse? Aye, that's right. They're cannibal horses, basically. Nasty buggers that drag people into bogs and drown you. Sometimes people call them kelpies on account of the water plants they pop out of. Anyway, as I was saying, problem was I started to develop this wee knack. Just a small thing. I keep magic from working when I'm around. Spells don't go, spirits fall apart, and the paracritters get real feisty, yeah? To make things worse, this was around the time Leon O'Connor threw his coup and formed the Tir na Nog. With his fancy talk about elves and ancient magic, it was a bit scandalous to have a woman guarding ancient sites that weren't just mundane, but also killed magic around her. So I got fired. So you're older than Tir na Nog? Bang on! I don't look a day over 25, do I? Rainbow flexes one arm, grinning widely. I am Irish, not one of them noggins. Pack of their punters, a lot of them. Always going on about their ancestral lands and the glory of the past and all that bullshit. I saw them kick dozens of old Irish families off their land just because their ears weren't pointy enough, or they didn't meet some stupid arbitrary criteria of nobility. It was like a kind of thing that brought back the IRA, just like the bad old days of the Troubles. The skeevers in the new tier didn't pay for the land they took. They just had a pack of bullies with guns. Rainbow scrunches her face into a disgusted sneer, and Mock spits to the ground. I've always been sympathetic to the little guy in a fight. They often pay me for help, so I said yes. Simple as that. So you became a terrorist? Feh, don't be so dramatic. They fixed me up with a cyber stitcher and gave me a lot of the kit I got in me now, in exchange for going overseas to work for them. Smuggling, running guns, making contracts in Europe. Same kind of shite all revolutionary groups do. Seeing as how to fight, me own fam got kicked out of their house, I was glad to do it. I still do work for them these days, but there's a lot of less of it. Lady Dina cracked down on the dissidents, but good. So what are you doing here? Me? I'm a bit of a big game hunter these days. I get into strange places, look for some kind of some kind of paracritter I've not seen before, and then put a bullet in it. Only nasty ones though. No point in hunting a talus cat or such. Only things like gargoyles, bargeets, and whatnot. All the work I did with them in my youth does a good job of keeping me alive. I was out in Jakarta last year, hunting down those Indonesian vampires. You ever heard of them? Call them Layak or Penagaglans, depending on who you ask. Their heads and guts come out of the body cavity. They fly around like a giant messy pile of pasta. Rainbow bares her teeth in pantomimes floating around. Took me 2 solid months to track her down, but I did. Once the job was done, I asked myself, okay Rainbow, where's the best place in East Asia to find some action? So Hong Kong it was. All the key what's it's here mean a bigger concentration of odd critters than you usually find in a city. Been spending a lot of time down in the storm drains these days. Heard rumors of a rat king down there. Or mess of devils get all tied together into some kind of big awful rat beast. Haven't tracked it down yet, but I figure it's only a matter of time, yeah? She pats the barrel of her shotgun affectionately. See you, Rainbow. Well, that's actually really rather helpful. You know, bite marks, rat king. I see a connection. Okay, so let us see how we're going on. Search the killer. Get the key to Maggie's shop. Well, if we can get to her shop, maybe I don't need a key. If you catch my meaning. Maybe we can somehow get in. The man in front of this stall is rooting through a box of music chips with the swift fingers of someone who knows what they're looking for. Behind him, the music player pumps out a consistent stream of distorted atonal music. The stall's proprietor is nowhere to be seen. Mo Jinbei. Can you believe this? They got all 4 bootlegs of Echelon 60, the unreleased Enoch Ian keys, double chip show for Brasville, but absolutely 0 chips from Shotgun Bloom. This stall stuff is purely second rate. Hey man, don't get down on Echelon 60. I saw them when they played the unlicensed show at the old Choco Tart factory in Sunwan. The show was amazing, even if the police had to break it up midway through the second set. Music aficionado waves his hand dismissively. The show may have been great, but come on, Echelon 60's old news. They're already being mainstreamed. I saw a trade ad for the new Mitsubishi Ostro scooter, and they were using Main Volt Underbus as the background music. Made me sad, I tell you. The Decker inches his head politely towards you. Mo Genbei, at your service. Decker, technologist, music fan. You're not from around here, are you? You don't hold yourself like a native. No, I'm from the UCAS. Mo runs a hand through his hair, shaking the collected rain off it. I thought so. What brings you here? I've been trying to figure out who's killing the elders. The Decker paused for a moment, face falling. Oh, that's nasty business. I heard Tong died tonight. I don't know who or what they pissed off, but it seems like it's a really bad scene. I'm trying to keep myself out of it. Still, I like this place. Is there anything I can do to help? What can you tell me about these people? They're a collection of freaks, geeks, nerds, and tech junkies. This place may look like a third world bazaar, but believe me, we have stuff here that's cutting edge in almost every field. He swells with pride and plants both hands firmly on his hips. Maybe I'm not as advertised maybe it's not as advertised as stuff the megas in their development labs, but it's as advanced as anything you can find in a store. People from all over the world buy and sell here, work out deals for big shipments. We've got contracts with every pirate and smuggling group in the South China Sea. Every major syndicate and gang has a free enterprise zone, knows not to mess with us. Not only is there a lot of us, but nobody wants to lose what we're selling. The Red Dragon made a play 4 years ago, but we chased him out. Mo gestures with both hands of shooing away some bothersome insect. Scooted back off to Ho Min 10, and they've never been back. Oh, sounds dangerous. You must have pissed them off. It's about playing the angles. Yeah, it pissed them off, but we sold goods to the Yellow Lotus at discount. In exchange, the Yellow Lotus kept them off our back. You don't have to beat up the big guy to win. You just have to make him step back so the bigger guy sees he's off balance. Stand-up fights with the megas. Stand-up fights are for the megas. We're about survival, just like everyone else in the shadows. What do you know about the murders? I'm trying to stay far away from them as possible. I'm not connected enough to hear anything important, and all the talk about the monsters is just plain dark. I'm not afraid of monsters, but I don't want to get in their attention. All I know is that a couple months ago, we had Elder Nakamura, Yente, Gan, and Magpie, and now we don't. I've heard about Magpie. Sounds like she was kind of vicious. To be blunt, she's a hateful, shrewish old badger of a person. It was always her way or the highway. She'd butt heads with the other elders over damn near everything. The last fight she had was with Tong over something or other. I guess she ended up throwing some of his micro-drones into a deep fryer and threatened to kick his ass around the block. What was her line of business? Matrix gear. Her shop's called the Jack Point. Not very imaginative, I know. She always had the hottest programs, best chips, and made the killer decks for anybody willing to pay her rates. It cost plenty of new yen, but she was one of the best in the business, at least in Hong Kong. If you want to know more about her, you should talk to Zippy. He's one of the only people around here who got along with Magpie. You can probably find him by the MTR station. He loves the steamed bun cart over there. Oh. What's your expertise? I'm a decker. Used to be company man for years. Pushing code on the servers, smearing the little cyberpunks that try to get into our secure system. Made a pretty good living. Had my own place in the 48th floor in a corporate skyscraper. It was the kind of thing that the Sims teacher everybody reaches for. The dream life. Sounds like hell on earth to me. Mo chuckles, running his hand through his hair. Well, it isn't so bad at the time, but in the long run, I think you're right. I am not as comfortable out here on the edge, but I'm a lot happier. I found out the company wasn't what I thought it was. Sure, they paid me well and kept me in creature comforts, but I accidentally looked over some misfiled reports while cleaning out a company data store. Turns out one of the company's security riggers had gotten drunk and blabbed about some project or other being over budget and behind schedule. That's not good. That'd be a fireable offense, right? Mo pursed his lips and gazed, going distant for a moment. Well, I guess upper management was worried that info would hurt the stock by a fraction of a point or two, so they fired the guy with a .308 round right through the skull. Wait, they shot him over a fraction of a point? May only have been fractions of a point, but that was still tens of millions of new yen. I guess they went beyond firing offense directly into murder territory. What's worse, since I knew about both project and the murder, I can be next in the firing line. I knew I wasn't worth the expense to hunt down as long as they kept my head down. So I came out here looking for like-minded deckers. I guess I ended up staying because I got a semblance of community out here and couldn't get many other places. Oh, see you around, Mo. That's pretty cool. And here's Breaker Hui. An imposing troll stands in front of a stall overflowing with weapons of all sorts. Pistols, rifles, even brass knuckles overflowing onto the rug around him. Ho there. You look like a man who understands the value of self-defense. Breaker Hui at your service. And I can promise you, I can help you defend yourself. What do you say? Want to take a look? I'm more interested in information. Yeah? Tell me what you want. Maybe I can help you out. Yeah. We'll talk to you later. Gotta try to get into Magpie's office. Or... the... shop. Alright, well, must be inside then. Boop. Alright. This is a closed shop that I've seen. Except for maybe down here. No, this is just the end. Huh. Unless this is it. Can't really tell. Well, let's try talking to this guy one more time. I'll be going now. Okay, guess not. Alright, well... kind of getting at the, what do I do point. Okay. Gotta talk to Zippy then. Maybe he knows something about Magpie and her shop. Oh, that's Kita. No. Zippy, this guy over here. I keep forgetting. That's why everyone has name tags. There's Zippy. Oh, no. See you later, Zippy. Oh. I'm like, maybe I can break my way into her shop. If the game would let me. Let us take a look-see around here. Oh, there's nothing new there. The man has tired, world-weary demeanor about him. His eyes track your movements with a penetrating, critical precision. Something about him, the lines about his eyes perhaps, make you suspect he's seen a lot of terrible things happen. He lifts his cup of cheap soy calf as you approach. Let me guess, you're the freelancers the elders are paying to look into the murders around here. That's right. Who are you? They call me Demigro. I'm not one of the Wapoans. I've been here long enough that they don't think twice about me being here. He drains the last of his soy calf in a large cup. What have you found so far? You're awfully curious for a random guy. Professional curiosity. I used to be with the New York Police Department as part of their thaumaturgical research division. Part of the CSI branch. Except I didn't did the magical investigation, while the other guys pulled prints and checked blood samples. He tosses the soy calf cup towards the nearby garbage can. It bounces around the rim and then rolls inside. When I hear about this shit happening, I keep my ear to the ground. Old habits, you know. So why aren't you investigating it? Elder Neg asked me to look into the killings after the first murder. She couldn't afford my fee, though, so I took a pass. It's not just the money, either. He shudders, folding his arm across his chest. You see the stuff day after day, you pay the price. It eats away at you. You know what it's like to feel that sickness and anger every day? To be asked to pick up a murder weapon, relive somebody's death, feel it going into your neck, pleading in the voice of the dead woman for her killer to spare you. These days I'd rather interrogate living. Thanks. Cool. That sounds awful. Awful. It's more than awful. It's a goddamn nightmare is what it is. One I could wake up from a long time. Sometimes you have to cut and run. Start fresh. At least now I can pick my own jobs. I can read objects. It's called psychometry. A little trick I managed to pick up. Don't really know how. I hold something, can tell you what happened to it, who owned it, how it killed someone, or if someone you loved it, or if it was afraid of it. Useful, but it'll tax your heart. And before you ask, no, I'm not going to read anything you find. I already told Nug I don't want any part of this. Oh, you want advice? I'll give you that, but I'm not getting down any further than that. So aside from that, is there anything I can help you? What do you know about the murders? Started a couple weeks ago. Elder Gan was the first to go, and that's when Neg asked me to look into it for them. He was ripped apart, arms wrenched out to their sockets, skin flayed away with a razor-sharp knife. The rest has been the same. Whatever did it sure didn't care about being a clean death. He lowers his voice, leaning towards you so only you can hear. Funny thing is, the Hong Kong police force was out here a few weeks before that. Maybe a month ago, tops. I know that doesn't seem like much, but the Wapoans don't usually let police in here. That by itself is odd enough, but then it gets even stranger. The officers were loaded to bear, too. Big guns, heavy armor with NBC seals, the works. They went into the parking garage near here, and there was all some sort of gunfight. Never made it back out. When the backup showed up, the Wapoans chased them away. Why would they let cops in and chase them away? That's exactly the kind of question that you should be asking. And the elders refused to answer when I asked. He shrugs. Go take a look for yourself if you want. Watch out, though. Gangs taking up residence there, dealing drugs and BTLs. They call themselves the Red Spear. Not too violent if you push them, but be careful with what you say. Tong wasn't afraid when he died. He was caught by surprise. Reserva. That's not what I would have expected. With the amount of mess in each scene, the victim should have been left behind a hell of a lot of fear and pain. Are you sure? Very sure. Tong died tonight, so the astral signature hasn't had time to fade. There was only a sense of perfunctory accomplishment. Then it sounds like this wasn't a crime of passion. A planned attack would have had the kind of resonance, in my experience. It's possible the gore show is to throw off anyone looking for actual reason. Closes his eyes and starts to nod. Yeah, if I wanted to kill someone and get away with it, I'd try to point the finger at some kind of monster. He opens his eyes and then smiles with a humorous grin. Basic Investigation 101. It's usually the simplest explanation, but don't discount other possibilities. You don't think the mess was incidental? It's a possibility. Go ask yourself. If the mutilation happened after Tong's death, why would a killer perform that kind of ritual? Serial killers who engage that kind of ritual don't feel perfunctory about it. My experience, it tends to feel more like they're taking communion. It's a religious or sexual feeling most of the time. If this didn't feel that way, I don't think the killer is actually pathological. Well, thank you, and see you later. And now that we're armed with this information, and you get into the parking garage, here's where I'm going to say thank you all for joining me. I really hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying making it for all of you. If you do, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, because sharing is caring, and check out the links down below, because that's where all the really good stuff is. Now, with that all being said, thank you all for joining me, and I shall see you all next time.